what it is, man. Detroit versus everybody, man. Detroit, we rep the hardest, man. We gain the hardest. You know what it is, man. Detroit, CJ, holla at your boy when we get home.
All right, man. I want to detail this Errol Spence video about Al and him and Terrence. So I kind of I spoke on it a little bit on the live. I think we did Friday. I did a little short live from the park. I don't know, was that Sunday? Saturday or Sunday, I was walking the dogs. But I didn't, the kids wanted to play with the dogs, so I couldn't get into it how I wanted to get into it. So I'm about to lay it all out in video format. For a lot of y'all content creators, you got some people who clip up the live stream and then re-upload it. And that's kind of frowned upon on YouTube. So if they really wanted to get anal about it, they can demonetize your channel about that too. So, and the great thing about titling your video, some of these dudes don't know how to title their video. Like they title it Boxing Talk Episode 1. The great thing about titling your work the right way on YouTube is you always can reference back to it if you need to use it again, or you need to do a flashback, or you need to send it to somebody. Like when you go apply for credentials, you send them your work. So I got a whole playlist of all the interviews I've done. So, but yeah, man, real quick, I was watching this video. His channel is AQ, AYEQ, right? Before I do get into the video. And he had a clip where he reacting to the girl moves the mother into the house without him knowing. And it was supposed to be a short stay, and she moved him in the crib without him knowing. And she's still there after the Easter stay. And he like, well, you got to tell mama to go. And I assume it's a skit, but the funniest thing about the skit, right, the moms come out, whatever, and she said, what y'all got a stripper pole in here for? You need to wipe. And she, I assume this was a skit. But what's so funny about it is, she told the boyfriend, she said, he was like, well, mama don't leave. You and your mama got to get out, whatever. She was like, go to the room. I know what to do with you. Go to the room. And you know what's so fucking funny about that, dog? I didn't have relationships like that. Like, I was having an attitude of shit, or I'd be in a bad mood. And they're like, man, get your ass in the room. And that'd be the best type of sex for sure. Where you get that stress relief off, and a girl be like, well, I'm gonna get your ass in there. And I don't know if it's the same way for women, because I know when a woman got an attitude, I grab her up, take her upstairs, blah, blah, blah. And then, I don't need stress relief. I put it down and I go back around my day. When I put in work, I be busy. If I actually put in work, not to hit off Q and go to sleep, that mean I was tired as hell. But a lot of times, it is what it is. I get back to working, get back to shaking and moving. But yeah, that shit be crazy, dude. I ain't gonna lie, that shit be wild when girls do that shit. I love that shit. I ain't gonna lie. I just say that real quick because I'm not gonna do a video on it, but this shit was hilarious. But yeah, stuff like that, they gotta put it past me. Like, okay, your mom wanna move in, how long she gonna be here? And I'm just gonna say yay and nay. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, she gonna take him to the bedroom, do all that. And his channel AQ, AYEQ, one word. And then y'all still gotta go, nigga. But real quick on Crawford, man, and Errol, like when Errol signed up new management or whatever, that should have raised the antennas about the situation with Al Haymon. And I'm gonna talk about Bomac too. That'd be a bonus talk, right? So that should have raised the antennas for real too. And I did chest day. My chest hurt like a motherfucker. I'm gonna do a fitness video soon. Shit hurt, but yeah, shit hurt like a motherfucker. But so that raised the antenna. So Al Haymon wanted Errol Spence to take on Thurman at 54 and then take on Canelo, which they believed that he could beat Canelo. And the plan was for him to beat Thurman and beat Canelo, and then have Terrence Crawford come up 68 and cash him out or cash him in versus Terrence Crawford. That was the plan, was to continue to make Crawford wait and let Errol go up. Now, had Errol lost to Canelo at 68, which he would have, and anybody with common sense knew that, would he? I don't think he would have came back down and defended his belts. I believe he would have relinquished the belts. Right? And what would have happened was, they probably would have fought at 54. They would have set Crawford up with a title fight at 54, made it a title fight. And what they would have did was they would have, how can I say it? They would have severely watered down the fight with Spence and Crawford. It wouldn't have been for Undisputed. They would have really, it was the car wreck, it was the eye injury, it was the weight drainage, it was the Canelo fight. And they really wasn't trying to fuck with Terrence Crawford like that. And Errol Spence made it happen. That's why he told Errol Spence, I love you, because you did some real ninja shit. It wasn't like, you know, I'm about to beat your ass and I'm only got to beat your ass because I love you like your parents. No, it was a love like, I appreciate the opportunity because without you, it wouldn't have happened. If you would have went to go follow their plan, you know. And then it's not to say he could have lost to Keith Thurman, to be real. You just never know. So a lot of times, you know, when they say, well, would you, you know, shoot a 3-pointer for $1 million or take 100,000 if you can make a layup? Sometimes you just got to take the layup. And the Crawford fight was the layup. So they really wasn't trying to give him the fight with Terrence Crawford. That was the plan, for him to fight Keith, and then for him to move up and then go fight Canelo, and then make the Crawford fight after all of that if he wanted to continue it. So, like I told y'all, Al Haymon, you know, even though Al Haymon got to put pedal to the metal about making some of these fights, Al Haymon don't have boxing's best interest at his best interest. He don't. He don't. Even when, he close to defeat, he still don't want to make the best fights possible. And that's a damn shame. And that's a crying damn shame. And that was the game plan. So it wasn't nothing that Crawford could do in negotiations. And it was Errol, basically saying, okay, we gonna do this. And Al Haymon just, didn't want to make the fight. Didn't think Spence could win. But my thing is, how did you and the investors think that Spence could win versus Canelo, but he couldn't win versus Terrence Crawford? I know styles make fights, and we are privy to that. But how did you believe? How did that work in your mind? And apparently, Spence messed up the money allegedly, because they was counting on Spence and Canelo to bring a certain amount of money into the deal to get a return, and now Al Haymon allegedly might not have the money to return to the investors because Errol Spence and Canelo didn't happen. So by Errol Spence venturing off doing his own thing, it messed the bag up, because they probably was going to do it in Texas. They probably was going to bring in a tremendous amount of gate, and the numbers probably was going to be through the roof, and that was going to be enough money to make everybody happy. And when Errol Spence went left, that's why he signed a new management deal, putting two and two together. And like I said, and I talked about this kind of in both of the videos I referenced, but everybody didn't see it. But the one I was in the park, I exclusively talked about this. I think it was Saturday or Sunday. I can't remember what day it was. It was hot as hell. And I think it was Sunday. I exclusively talked about this. You can look in the live. It was like a 6-minute live. And I told y'all it made sense for Errol Spence to take the rematch. It was common sense for Errol Spence to take the rematch because he went against Al Haymon wishes. So guess what was going to happen? Now he's going to be put on the shelf. See, y'all talking about Bob is like this and Bob is a racist and this. Man, it don't get no more racist than your own people, holding you back when y'all have a difference of opinion. The difference between Bob and Errol is business and before it's personal. It's real business over personal. And with Al Haymon and them, when you're dealing with black people, it's personal before business. Even if it makes sense business wise, I care more about the personal aspect of it. Black people put the personal over the business. And in reality, great successful businessmen, the personal is not even nowhere in the vicinity, bruh. It's the business. That's what it is. It's all business. We got to leave our personal shit up out of this if it's going to be successful. So what was going to happen to Errol Spence, this is my opinion here, no inside information. Al Haymon needed to pay him not to take the rematch. Whatever it was, $100K, $250,000, $1 million, not to take the rematch. And what Al Haymon was going to do, they didn't want him to take the rematch because they don't know how they're going to make a return. That's not their problem. They did the contract. That's not my fault. He wanted him to decline the rematch. What he was going to do is put Errol Spence on the shelf because of personal feelings, because Errol Spence ventured off the Al Haymon plan. He was going to put him on the shelf, then bring him back years later, bring him back a year or two later or whatever. And then, he was going to be weight drained, and then his career was going to be fucking over with. They had no clear plan for no clear plan for Errol Spence to return. None. He was gonna return next December versus some fighter, and he's gonna be out of shape. Probably return at middleweight. They wasn't gonna get Errol Spence no quick turnaround. I was mad at him. He was gonna sit on that pine for a while. So why decline the rematch? They're not gonna pay me for declining the rematch, right? They're not gonna pay me for declining the rematch, right? They're not gonna give me a fight date or a fight plan. I'm gonna be sitting on. I was just off 15, 16 months, so he pissed off on me. I could probably be out 18 or 30 months. So why wouldn't I go get paid? They owe me a minimum in the contract. So why would I'm gonna get my ass beat again if I win, draw? I'll get more respect after the fight. Why would I turn down probably a $10 to $20 million payday to go sit at home and do nothing and get put on the shelf because Al Haymon mad at me? It don't make no sense. It don't add up. I ain't got my watch today. It's irritating. I miss my watch. I left it. It's irritating. Right? So that make perfect sense. I don't take the rematch. I don't get no money. I don't get no money for declining that rematch clause. I probably not gonna have a fight date all this rest of this year, all next year. It ain't no alternative for me. Now, you got some people think that Al Haymon perhaps set up Bomac, and that's how the guns got in his bag. Now, this ain't no knock on Bomac. This ain't no knock on nobody. I talked about it already, but I'm not surprised how stupid humans are. I remember I heard a story about a person, they snuck some weed on the plane, and this was a few years ago. Like, why would you do that? Like, you get caught, do you understand? Well, it can't happen to me. People are ignorant, bro. So I don't put it past nobody for trying to bring guns on the plane. Not saying that was his intent. If he was set up and this Al Haymon trying to set him up to deter Crawford from the rematch, well, he got 3 more fucking coaches to go. Red, Bernie, and Saul. They say he facing 5 years. So did Al Haymon set him up? I don't know. And if he did, man, don't ever tell me about how black Al Haymon is, because Al Haymon just proved his alliance runs with Green. That's it. That's what he proved. His allegiance runs with Green. So if he did that, hey, I'm not saying it's true or I don't know. I don't think he would do anything like that, but I don't know the guy. So it is what it is. Check out the Boxing News playlist, Boxing Rumor playlist. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Next subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit the link tree. Find me on Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, the whole 9. Boxing Rumor playlist. Peace.